So has the cybersecurity landscape changed procedurally or directionally since you first got involved way back when?
Of course, I think we are into the fourth generation landscape. When I started became involved in security, it was the era where people were developing malware or the viruses for the fun purposes. So it was kind of a 1997 to 2004. It was the fun part.
Mm-hmm.
People were developing stuff. They did not have any financial motives or any big, I would say, intellectual property theft and all that. All they wanted to have some fun, right? So
Right.
for 5 years, it was for fun, right? And then we came into the second generation, and that was about for profit malware. So we started to see quite a bit of botnets where people thought, okay, you know what, there's no money in developing viruses for fun. Why don't we embed some kind of data stealing payload into our malware, and we can make some money out of that. So I would say second era was from 2004 to 2007 time frame.
Mm-hmm.
And then we enter into the third generation where it became targeted attack, APT attacks, where nation state started to say, oh, you know what, I mean, they can use it as a weapon, right? The internet is broad, accessible. So why not take advantage of that? An interesting thing is that in the first three phases, from the fun for profit to the intellectual property, the most common method used by hackers were malware. All of them were using malware, but for different purposes, right? And now I believe we are entering into the fourth generation threat landscape, and that is centered around for profit and the intellectual property. But the
Yeah.
main difference is that instead of using malware, the bad guys have started to use phishing instead.
Okay. So you think there's a switch from phishing to malware? Is there a particular reason for that?
It's a switch from malware to phishing. And I think it's very difficult to have a malware undetected with the current
Yeah.
technologies. So
Right.
anti-malware technologies really struggle from 1995 to 2010 or so. And then they finally became reasonably good enough that okay, they made their life quite difficult. So this
I
is the thought, okay, it took around 15 years to develop set of technology that can combat malware. So now if we switch to phishing, then there's an opportunity for us for the next 15 years.
Right. You have this whole sort of social engineering aspect that malware, anti-malware technology can't help you with.